Good afternoon, this is Lucky Links, and when you're making a living as a fortune teller, it often behooves you to have tools on hand that in any situation, if someone wants a reading, you can actually give them a reading and get a gig. So you never know, where the next bit of prosperity is going to come from when you approach life that way, and you're always ready to receive it when it shows up. So I'm going to show you guys this because people are always asking me, what oracles do you recommend? Well, the ones that I make, and I recommend all of them. I use all of them for different occasions, but this little bag I carry with me all the time, and this one, this is just shove it in my pocket, and I've got it. Shove it in my jacket pocket. This has got my Gypsy Love Oracle in it and my Alice Oracle. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do an in-depth reading for someone with just these two oracles today. Okay, so this is my deluxe. Okay, so there's the sun, and then there's this is the Zoltar die. So this is the Gypsy Fortune Dice Set Deluxe. Comes with the Love Oracle. All right, so there's the Love Oracle. So that's the Deluxe Gypsy Love, or the Gypsy Fortunetelling Deluxe. And this is my Go Ask Alice. Okay, so the Cheshire Cat. So I'm going to show you how I would do something, a deep reading for someone. If I was at a party and someone's like, hey, will you do a reading? And this happens all the time, You got a gig then, So you got to be prepared. So with just what I carry in my pocket at all times, the deck of cards is kind of clumsy and big, and sometimes it's hard to lay it all out. Not to mention the fact that when you're rolling dice, it really engages people, bypasses their critical factors, lets their guard down, lets you get in. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Someone specifically this morning asked me a question about a client that she had that was a problem client that's been giving her a lot of problems, who's been blaming her for the things that have been going wrong in her life, and who's just generally making things difficult for this particular fortune teller. So I told her I would use her as a example. So this is about the fortune teller and her client. Okay, so the client that's causing problems for her, and then I'm going to show you how we do this. So first thing I would do is what's at the heart of the matter. Okay, so I'm going to look at this from the point of view of the client that she's got that's difficult, and I want to see what's at the heart of the matter. So the first thing I'm going to do is what's at the heart of the matter, and I'm going to use my Love Oracle. What's at the heart of the matter? Okay, so this. Okay, so the person feels like she's disconnected from her spirit. So I actually feel like when I read this that the individual is connected to the spirit. So there's actually something going on up here that's kind of off balance. So the individual is not connected to their spirit. So the heart in relation to that, okay, so their heart, so this person's heart in relation to that. Actually, so this would be the person's heart in relation to that. So I'm going to ask, actually I'm seeing this on two layers. This also has to do with the fortune teller. So she wants to do the spiritually right thing. Okay, so I got two things coming up at the same time. The client is lost her spirit. She's not in touch with herself. And the fortune teller herself, who asked me the question, she wants to do the spiritually right thing. Okay, so what's their heart in relation to that? Is it compatible or opposite? So where's their heart in relation to it? Okay, so the devil, big surprise. So that means that the individual is bound to some things that are causing problems for her and are creating suffering. And the fortune teller herself is actually binding herself to this person with some sense of misguided sense of duty or misguided sense of purpose. So both of them are doing the same thing. They're both bound to something that's causing them harm. So my advice for the fortune teller would be to not bind yourself to that, and also the other person seems to be feeding on or enjoying this situation that's creating drama. Okay? So that's the heart of the matter. So she's lost her spirit, and she's using situations like she's creating trouble with this particular fortune teller to create drama to feed on. Okay, so that's what's going on. How is the individual in relation to his or her core self? Okay, so this is going to be the Alice Oracle here. So I got the bottle, the drink me bottle, and Alice. Okay, so feels completely disconnected from that part of herself. So the core self, which is Alice in the oracle, she feels disconnected from the core self, so she's not really being who she really is. Now, here's the interesting thing that's going to blow your mind. Both of these things are coming up to represent both the fortune teller and the client. So when people say like attracts like, or you create situations where there's one and the other, there has to be two in a situation like this. 2 is the number of division. This is a divided situation. Both of them are trying to get something out of the situation, and neither one of them, and both of them I think are actually getting it because they're disconnected from who they really are. So the one's trying to fix the other person, fix the situation, and the other one's trying to feed on the fortune teller who's feeling some misguided sense that she's supposed to help her, and actually they're both feeling there's less of the core self, so they're not really, neither one of them is really being in touch with who they really are at their core. Okay? All right, so the next piece, who is closest to them? So I'm going to use the Gypsy Fortunetelling one for this. Who's closest to them? Because you want to know in a situation who's closest to the person. Okay. So an individual, so it's a male individual. In both cases, it feels like, in the case of the person, not the fortune teller, the client is seeking easy answers about a man in her life, and the other person is confiding in a man in her life. So they both have a man close to them that they're confiding in. Okay, you got the sun, and you got this one. And the fortune teller is asking, am I doing the right thing of this, the person closest to her, the man closest to her, and the other one wants easy answers about this man. Okay, and wants it to be all neat and tidy, and it's not neat and tidy. None of it feels neat and tidy. Okay, so we're building a bigger picture of what's going on here. Okay, so how is that relationship going? I'm going to ask the love oracle. They're both seeking answers outside of themselves from another person, and they're not trusting their own intuition, okay? In this case, too, with the fortune teller also confided in me, who was a man who was helping her find answers, so she's seeking outside of herself rather than trusting herself and saying, look, you know you're not supposed to be, you know this is just draining you, and you know this is not providing any value for your life, so get out of the situation. Cut the situation off. Don't let this person feed on you. Don't feed on what's coming from the situation, okay? So now, how do they relate to what they do for a living? That was the, sorry, I wrote my notes out for this. Relate to what they do for a living was the love oracle, I believe. Love oracle. Transformation. Okay, so in the one sense, the fortune teller thinks that this is a transforming thing, and this is what she does for a living. The fortune teller believes what she does for a living is to actually help and transform people. The other person and what she does for a living relates to it in causing chaos, destruction, and destruction. So in both cases, the death heart represents something that's going on with both of them, but it's, in one case, the fortune teller is trying to help the other transform. The other one just wants to provide chaos and death. Makes sense? Endings. Okay, so then I got my questions laid out here for me, if you haven't noticed. Okay, so then what kind of knowledge do they have? That's the Gypsy oracle, so I'm going to take the Gypsy. What kind of knowledge does a person have? Okay, so both of them are using some misguided sense. So this is Zoltar. Usually he's the spirit of this, and this is an inner knowledge. So they're both going on instinct here. I'm just going to say this is an instinct that is sort of ingrained in them, so I'm going to say that both of them have gotten in situations like this before and in relationships like this before with people. So this is not the first time this has happened to the fortune teller. This is not the first time this client has fed on someone in this particular case. Also, it's sort of misguided and in some cases diluted what the relationship really is. So it's a fantasy, sort of a fantastic situation that's not necessarily based in reality or not necessarily based in true value, okay? How does this particular knowledge that they have serve or not serve them? It gets them a rush in both cases, makes the heart race, releases endorphins, and it actually provides a rush that in both cases makes both of them feel a little bit exhilarated, even if in the end it's not a positive exhilaration, it is still an exhilaration, okay? So, how is their health? That's the love oracle. All right, this is actually affecting their health and creating chaos in them, and it's causing a transformation that is not for the positive. It's actually affecting their vital energy and is draining both of them. So it's creating fatigue, it's draining vital energy, and it's not really working for the positive, okay? How can they strengthen their health? That would be Alice. So this would be how to like sort of shift this and start to strengthen it. Alice says change their state. Okay, so you got the mushroom, you got this. I would say start with breathing, disconnect from the situation, put yourself in a situation where you're laughing and having fun rather than engaging in this sort of thing. Change your state, breathe, put yourself in a place where you're doing what you love or you're experiencing, you could even meditate, whatever it takes to get out of this negative thing and change the state, and don't go back to it, okay? So the main question, if there is one, or how can they strengthen their health? How can they strengthen their health, Ben? Let's ask Alice again. Oh, I did that, right? How is their health? No. How can they strengthen their health? Okay. Okay. All right, this makes sense. So if they change their state, okay, that's their health. They need to change their state. How can they strengthen their health? That's the bottle. That means to lessen drink me, and that's the Queen of Hearts. So less of this kind of interactions with people, less rigidity, less feeling that they have to get back at the other person, less wanting to prove themselves, less ego basically in this particular case, less wanting to be right. Both of them are wanting to be right, and this has to stop, okay? If they can do that, it'll strengthen their health, and then I'm going to ask what will happen. It'll cause a transformation for the positive, which will result in a greater influx of a more genuine kind of curiosity and exhilaration that will make them feel much better, okay? So the main question is, if there is one, that you throw all of them. So I take all of these, throw them, flip it, flip it. Okay, the main question, if there is one. All right. Okay, so the main question basically was, how do I change this state and actually stop repeating this pattern and get myself and receive something that I feel is good for me and actually rectify the wrong that I feel that has happened to me, okay? So we got this, which has to do with all of the, the hard answers to ask, or the magic 8 ball. Sometimes this comes up as easy, wanting easy answers, not getting them, or actually how to actually get a genuine kind of exhilaration that's not diluted, it's not based in fantasy, okay? So, and then how to change your state from where you're at to get a more genuine kind, okay? So that's the real question. How do I get out of this, and how do I get a real genuine state of feeling good? Disengage and engage in things that actually bring you true happiness. Use curiosity. In these particular cases, I usually say, why is the individual doing this? And I look at why the individual is doing this. I gain an understanding of why the individual is doing this. It helps me disengage in those cases when I'm watching something like this happen to people, okay? Last one. Where are they heading now? The outcome. By the way, the other one, in the last case, the client was looking for quick, easy answers and a quick way to feed on someone else. And then the last one is, where are they heading? There's a teapot. This, okay, and this. Okay, so we got the curiosity about a different state, new. Okay, so it tells me that, okay, so here we got the moon, which goes with this one. Okay, so it means backing off and timing out and disengaging and looking for new places to find prosperous clients and new clients and a new energy and get myself out of this. So actually she's going to go into hiding from this person, and then she's going to find herself gaining better ground here. There's a more positive outcome going to come for her. She disengages from this. The other one's going to continue to try to get the other one's goat. And if not, is going to look for something new or a new situation in which to feed on. So that would be, the white rabbit would be a new situation or a new world, new love affair, where she can build the cycle all over again. So she's going to actually start to do this with someone else. So if anyone out there gets a client who wants to start feeding on them like that, maybe you're the one that they went to. Anyway, so that's how you do it. Heart of the matter, love oracle, that's the first question you ask. Heart, your heart or their heart in relation to that love oracle again, and then you find out with that if it's compatible or not compatible. So, you know, for example, if someone, the heart of the matter was, say, transformation, okay? So let's say the heart of the matter was transformation for someone, and then you say, is it compatible? And this one came up, it was like, it'd be like, well, yeah, they're in a place that they want to change and grow, so those two are compatible. If, say, for example, they want to start a new business, love affair, a new excitement, new curiosity, but the broken heart is there, it may mean that the heart's not in it. So you look for what's compatible, okay? How is the individual in relation to his or her core? That's the Go Ask Alice oracle. Who's closest to them? You use the Gypsy Fortunetelling one for that. That'll tell you man, woman, or the kind of person that it is. Sometimes gender gets a little swapped these days because sometimes it'll mean a person that's receptive or more yin, or a person that's more yang and more active. Doesn't necessarily mean man or woman. How is that relationship going? The Love Oracle tells you that. How do they relate to what they do for a living? That's the Love Oracle. And then if that shows some concern, see how they can make it healthier. That's the Alice Oracle. You use the Alice Oracle for that. And then what kind of knowledge do they have? The Gypsy. How does it serve them or not serve them? The Love Oracle. How is their health? The Love Oracle. How can they strengthen their health? The Alice. And then the main question, if there is one, all of the dice at the same time, and where are they heading the outcome? All of them. Okay, so that's how I might do something like this. Usually I go with what questions come up, but that provides a sort of framework. Here's a little, you can take a look at that right there. There we go. Those are the questions. Can you even see? You can't even see them. There's the question. Okay. All right, well, I'll read them again. Heart of the Matter, Love Oracle, and then heart in relation to that. That's the Love Oracle. How is the individual in relation to his or her core self? Go Ask Alice. Who's closest to them? Gypsy Fortunetelling. How is the relationship going? You know what? I'll put the questions in the thing below and you can read them there. I am Lucky Links. That's how I would take just what was in my pocket and do an in-depth reading on a situation. I might just say what's at the core of the matter here that I'm going to read for. Someone is bound to something, or someone is finding themselves in an addictive pattern, and I might start from there. So I just would take these and just start asking questions and start asking why, how, what, and then throw the dice in relation. And then you can do a big, long, I mean, this has already been, 17-minute reading. So you could go into, 45 minutes to an hour with one of these by continuing to expound on it and answer a person's question just by what's in this little bag right here that you can carry wherever you are. You can do that with anything, but just be prepared is what I'm saying. When you're, a professional fortune teller, you got to have your stuff on you. If you have your stuff on you and you're prepared, there's no end to the opportunities that you can find. So people are always saying, hey, how do I do this for a living? You have to be prepared, and you have to be out there meeting people, and you have to tell them what you do, and you have to be ready to deliver at a moment's notice. That's how you do it, because you don't follow a 9-to-5 schedule like everyone else does. You go where the opportunities are and you grab them when they come up. Okay, so I'm Lucky Links. I hope that is some good advice for you guys. If you have any questions, put them in the thing below. I'll do my best to answer them, and you guys have a wonderful day.